Hi everyone, let's go through my preferred scenarios on the high time frame, medium time frame and the low time frame, where on the low time frame I have a couple of new ideas which I will update you about. On the high time frame, I'm looking for this ABC that is still unfinished, as wave C did not yet hit the common wave C target and also did not yet hit the rare wave C target. The minimum requirement for wave C is at least taking the highs of A, which it has done with the highs over here. However, in my opinion, if this is a wave C, it's simply not yet high enough. The invalidation for this wave C would be if currently this wave 4 that we are in my opinion, which is often a longer sideways correction, goes below the 0.5 Fibonacci taken from the low of 2 to the high of 3 at about 20.3k. And this then also gives us a potential trading setup where the 382 is matching very nicely with the lows of this blue wave 4 over here as a potential entry. Stop loss below the 0.5 and the invalidation with a little bit of leeway, and then trading it up to about the 29.6k area as a minimum target for this potential wave X over here in a bigger WXY. Thanks to Miriam for noticing the ABC that I had previously. But this area is very interesting because we used to have a lot of support over here, then turning resistance on the higher time frame, which then can lead to a nice trade to the downside over here, entering about the 382. But of course, we first have to see how we're going to approach this area to get a clearer target of how high this price action might go, and then eventually entering a short somewhere over here, stop loss above the highs. This is the maximum target of a wave C, traded to the downside, where a potential target based on a prediction over here is about the 12k 13k area for possibly a wave Y, which also has confluence with backtesting this support area that basically after the big bull run we had, we never backtested. So that can be a very interesting first resistance and then later on a support flip for then again more upside. On the medium time frame, I have the following preferred scenario, where we are currently in this WXY, which is the green count on my chart right now. So over here we have 3 waves in the Y, in the W, 3 waves in the X, and then I expect some sort of a 3 wave in the Y. The invalidation is if in this wave Y we're basically going above 24k, and therefore the red line is positioned over there. Then for a potential target of this wave Y, I'm looking for a 3 wave in a wave Y, where in my opinion this is a 3 wave in the A, especially looking at how long we are already consolidating. I think for me the scenario of this being a 1, 2 and then 3, 4, 5, it gets close to invalidation because of the length of how long this range is going by now. So this, in my opinion, is more like an A, and then eventually I'm looking for a move up and then continuation to the downside for a potential wave Y, where I'm looking then for wave Y to end somewhere at the yellow target box that I have over here. And if you want to know more about cleaning up your chart and target boxes, I made a video earlier today, so check it out, right top of the corner, click on the card right there. But as you can see, the target box has confluence with the target area of a wave Y. Over here, the 1-to-1 and the 1.236 trend-based fib extension taken from the high of 3 to the low of W to the high of X. Then toggle these on, and this is the target area for wave Y, which also has very nice confluence with the yellow target box, including the different confluences in that target box, a couple of naked point of controls and a daily. The invalidation, if wave Y goes too deep and hits the 1.618, then this scenario is invalidated, which actually also invalidates the whole wave 4, by the way, because on a higher time frame we would then go below the 0.5 Fibonacci, as just mentioned. A potential trading scenario in this case is entering at about the weekly naked point of control, stop loss below the lows over here, and then this could possibly be the low of wave 4, and then we can move up for a wave 5 to about like 30k. Or this is only the first part of wave 4 and we can expect another 2 waves before eventually moving up to the upside. And then on the lower time frame, my preferred scenario, which I think is very interesting because there's a lot of things going, well, actually at the same time nothing is going on, right? Because we're basically ranging, you could say, yeah, very boring price action, people might call this. But I think it's very, very interesting, right? It's also a mindfuck for many people that are not patient, that are not disciplined. They're gonna try to trade in very choppy price action because it's very difficult to have an idea of what is actually happening over here. And you can see I have a couple of letters on my chart, so I will show you what I'm thinking at least. But it's just so interesting to see what's happening online as well, and the thoughts about the fact that we've been in a range for now 3 days. So let's look at this scenario, which is of course, the smaller time frame of the medium time frame scenario that we have with the W, the X, and now I'm looking for a 3-wave in the Y, which actually is, let me change the color. I will change this to a beautiful pink over here. So I'm looking for the pink count at the moment, this being then an A, 3-wave A, looking for this 3-wave B, and eventually a 3-wave move to the downside. And currently we're then in this some sort of a B wave, right? Which looks very rangy, which makes you think it can be an ABC or a WXY. Now, in all scenarios, the 3A2 for me is an absolute minimum target to hit. If this is a wave B, it like an A, B, C, or maybe a WXY, I'm looking for at least price to hit this 3A2. And there's basically 2 scenarios, in my opinion, that it can currently hit this target area. At least it's a minimum. Of course, if you will look at my trading idea coming up, I do not have a trade over here, and that is because of this over here. There's very little resistance in this area, so it's very risky. And as traders, we only want to trade and try to trade the highest probability trades, right? So, okay, let's go to the 2 very low time frame scenarios I have. So currently what I am thinking, I'm on the 15-minute time frame, is that over here we could have something like a W, an X, and then a 3-wave Y to then finish an A or a W. And that is where the difference is, because there's a difference between an A, B, C and a W, X, Y. In this case, we have then an A over here, and then we could be looking, or a W for, on the lower time frame, this move down over here is a 3-wave structure. So if this is a 3-wave structure, we could be looking for 2 options. One is the following, that this is an A, then we go for a B, and then a C. So we create an expanded flat in this wave over here, the second part of the wave. So that can be a possibly an X wave then, right? So, or we have an A, B, which ended now at the 786, and then eventually a C to the downside. So either or, it's a W, X, Y, or an A, B, C, or at least I'm still looking for a move down. Either we take the high first and go down, or go down immediately and then at least take a couple of these lows and maybe even hit the target box area, which eventually would be my preferred scenario, because there's some nice confluence over here and we're basically in the middle of nowhere, in my opinion. For a potential expanded flat B over here, you see the target area, the 3A2 in this scenario has confluence with the target area of an expanded flat B. Those are the orange and yellow lines up here. And that is the 1.236 and a 1.38 taken from the high of A or W to the low over here. So then we have again this potential ABC or WXY or whatever you want to call it, at least an expanded flat with eventually an explosive C to the downside, which I would like to go to the blue target box. But yeah, we don't know yet. And then eventually, if that is then the low of this then wave B or X, so if A, B, and then eventually a C, that is then the end of the purple B. So that could be very, very nice price action, especially the move up would be an interesting trade. And that's also the trade that I have on my chart. And, you know, I don't preset any positions here because I first want to see what is happening over here. You know, I'm a reactive trader in that scenario, but I'm looking there for a 3-wave A, some sort of a 3-wave B, and then eventually a C to the downside. And then what would be nice, if this is an A, B, C, then we can trade the low of this wave B, depending on how we're going to approach this area of interest. Enter at about like the weekly and the daily, the horizontal lines over here, as well as then the target area for an expanded flat B. So then we have an A, B, C, with this B over here being then the expanded flat B. And then move to the upside impulsively, stop losses below these lows. Target is the point of control of the previous range that we have over here. If you want to know how to trade point of controls and naked point of controls, click on the card at the right top. Made a video about that one. And then eventually what we can do is once price moves to the upside, we don't yet know of course how high it will be, but again there's very little resistance in this area, so price might be able to shoot up quite rapidly. And then the first, in my opinion, real point of resistance is going to be this range point of control together with the 786, some highs, and there's also a daily a little bit higher at 23,631. So that could be a very interesting entry area for a potential short trade. Stop loss above the validation over here at X for this wave Y, and then trade it down for this potential C wave to the downside towards then the yellow target box, which is the basically target area for this trade. So yeah, on the lower time frame, I hope I didn't confuse you with the scenarios that I have, because it is very confusing price action. I did today have a look at it, but again, probably tomorrow we have a little bit more insights in what might happen, of course, because we have more price action, but I'm still looking for some sort of a three-wave structure where we will at least hit the 382 retracement. That is, by the way, taken from the high of X to the low of this A over here. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. If you had any value, please subscribe with my young growing channel. You know, step by step, I would really value having you here on my channel. So thanks for watching. Next video will be tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for a new Bitcoin price update. So thanks for watching. See you at the next one. Bye bye.